Hey guys, Donat here once again, this time as promised with some Diablo 3 application action. In today's video we will have a look at both some of the more useful and also some of the completely useless calculators out there to hopefully help you out in this matter. I would say these tools are mostly optional, but at times can be extremely helpful. I will copy the links in the description below so you can easily check them out. There is only one basic rule you should always follow when looking for something like this. Always watch the number of the latest patch for which the calculator has been optimized for, especially after a new release. There are many calculators out there which have been abandoned by their developers, thus they use the rules of previous patches. Probably I should also mention that you can get some of these little programs as applications for your smartphone, which is at least as cool as useless, I guess. There are 4 main types of calculators out there, and we will cover all of them just now. We have the DPS and or damage calculators, the EHP calculators, where EHP stands for effective hit point or effective health pool, the infamous item value calculators, and last but not least the gem crafting calculators. We will start off with the most popular and probably most important ones, the DPS and damage calculators. This is a type of application that I would strongly recommend you to check out, should you not have done so until now for some reason. These babies are excellent tools during planning your gear, and to use pre-purchases to make sure you are actually investing in an upgrade. There is nothing more frustrating than getting a really cool item that turns out to be a downgrade because you did swap out crit chance for attack speed, for example. The way these calculators work is that you enter all your damage modifiers, including your base stats, weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage, attack speed and skill bonuses, and it will calculate your expected DPS and actual average damage per hit as well. They mostly have some sort of tooltip to make sure that you put the right values in the right spots. Before we have a look at some of the most recommended examples, let me just say that this is the only type of calculator where you do not need to worry about the latest patch compatibility. These core calculations didn't change until now, so you are pretty safe to use them. Also, I wanted to mention that I personally do not use them to calculate my exact DPS or damage, but rather plan new purchases depending on how positive the changes would be compared to my current calculations. We are quite lucky as there are many really solid DPS calculators out there, so we will have a quick look at 4 of them and compare them in general. The first one is my personal favorite that you can find on the cleverly named DiabloDamageCalculator.com. It has 2 options, Basic View and Advanced View. The former one is what it says on the tin, super basic and very solid indeed. This should cater for most players for a quick search. The advanced section is a lot more detailed, as here you can break down your stats for each gear type. This is of course ideal for planning out your gear on the damage side, and I'm sure you could spend a lot of time here building up your dream set. It's not really relevant, but the skin is pretty nice as well. A solid alternative can be found under d3dps.net. This is a bit less complex, as it only has the basic view from before. However, it's still solid and easy to use. It has also a built-in extra, as you can also take into consideration the effects of your followers, without having to add it manually to your stats. Plus, it will also give you your actual attacks per second in the results. On the downside, it will only give you your DPS and not your actual damage per hit, which is pretty much a shame. The next up is the calculator made by d3rawr.com. This is once again a more basic setup, with some really cool add-ons if you want to dig deeper. The first cool thing is that you can also enter the bonus damage against demons and elites, and display the results for them separate as well. Also, in general the results are nicely detailed. They do not only give you your DPS, damage per hit, and attacks per second, but will even give you the range of damage, both for normal and for critical hits. Furthermore, they will also give you the DPS gain per stat increase, meaning how much would your DPS increase with one more main stat, 1% more crit chance, and so on. Pretty sweet indeed. If there is one small negative thing, it's that you can only select the buff from the sorceress, but not from the scoundrel. Then again, adding that extra 3% crit chance manually is not that big of a deal. Lastly, you might want to check out also theasiangamer.com for their version. It's definitely not my favorite, and I don't like the skin that much either, but you can dig really deep and adjust everything from armor parts to skills to the very detail. There is one really interesting function as well, which I admittedly didn't try out myself. Apparently, you can directly import the data from your character profile. If this works as it should, then this is a really awesome feature indeed. In the next tier are the EHP, aka Effective Hit Point or Effective Health Pool Calculators. These can be quite useful as well when you are planning out your character's desired stats and gear, or would like to check how an item would change your survivability. The way they work is the same in all cases. You enter your base stats, armor, resistances, damage reflections, life percent, your class-specific buffs and companion buffs. The results will be displayed as a generic number and also specific against magic, melee, ranged and elites. All of these will have an alternative result as well, taking dodge into calculation. Now, it's important to mention that EHP does not equal your actual life pool, but represents the amount of damage you are able to take before dying. I found two calculators for EHP that I really did like, and that seemed trustworthy and up to date. My personal favorite is perhaps the one on d3rawr.com. It's really easy to use, works solid, and also displays your actual health pool. The biggest benefit, however, is that you can already enable 1.0.5 planned changes in the PTR option, so you can prepare yourself for the future as well, and check out how the changes will affect you. It might be also worth checking out the calculator over at diablo.incgamers.com. It has some drawbacks as it will not display your actual health pool, and there is no 1.0.5 option just yet. It has, however, an equipment EHP checker function, which is a really nice tool to compare the changes with a new item to your current EHP. Now, of course, that can easily be done with any calculator, by writing down your current EHP and then running another calculation with the new stats. However, it's still nice that they have pre-built this into the application. The next one is a really interesting one. Item value calculators. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, unfortunately, we can pretty much sum them up in one word of advice. Beware. To my knowledge, there is not one out there which is even close to being good enough to be worth considering, and that's to no surprise. The prices change so much all the time that you would need constant updates to make it even remotely accurate. The only working one I found is at Diablo3values.com. The skin is actually quite nice, but it's completely outdated by now. The last update was also back in July, which is never a good sign. So this section is more of a warning. Do not use any of these applications for the moment, and honestly, probably don't even hope for a working one anytime soon. Lastly, let's talk a bit about the gem crafting calculators. There are quite a few ones out there, as they are pretty simple to make. A lot of them are, however, quite outdated, or made clearly for the sole purpose to act as a landing page for ads, and as typical in such cases, they are rubbish. Before we have a look at some of them, let me just say that in my humble opinion, these calculators are pretty much useless. They all require you to research the actual cost of both the starting gems and the required pages, mostly Tome of Secrets, and then they just simply multiply things together, taking into account the crafting requirements of the specific gems, as shown at the Jewel Crafter. Really, they are not smarter than any pocket calculator, and are only saving you the research of the crafting requirements. Then again, why would you want to craft gems in the first place? They are not good for making money, and mostly the best choice is to buy them off the auction house, rather than to invest in recipes and materials. Anyway, if this is something you are interested in, you might want to check out the calculator found on d3rawr.com. It's a pretty solid and up-to-date system with two nice features. First of all, you have the possibility to enter the materials you already have in your stash, thus will not cost you anything. This is really nice. If we are lazy enough not to bother doing any calculations ourselves, let's do it right and save those subtractions as well. Secondly, it will also display a plus 15% version of the results as well. This is of course your break-even point should you want to craft to sell, taking into consideration the 15% gold transaction fee. If you want an alternative as well, I would suggest the surprisingly named Diablo3gemcalculator.com. It's rather similar, without the option to input what you already have, but with the added option of adding the cost of the jewel crafting receipts required. That was all, ladies and gents. As said, you can find all the links in the description below. If you did find this helpful and would like to have more, please don't forget to subscribe. I hope you will have some fun with these applications, but remember to be careful to trust only the up-to-date ones. Also, if you know about any different ones that they are any good, please share it in the comments and I might just have a look at them some other time. As for the next videos, we probably have a slight change of plan. Most probably, the next video will be about bidding mechanics in the auction house. This is due to the changes to resplendent chests and uniques in the upcoming patch that I want to take into consideration as well in my new farming guides. I trust you will find it quite useful, so I hope to see you soon in one of my next videos.